What's going on YouTube? Tis I, Life in the Hammer Lane, back again once more. I got the hat. They told us if you got the hat, you got the job. Well, I got the hat. We had the orientation test today and passed that flying colors. It was not bad. I was so worried about it being like so difficult. It was not bad at all. You know what I mean? It's just hard work, you know what I mean? That's what I come to learn about flatbed, is that it's just a lot more work than it is pulling box trailers. Like, we started with 10 people in my class, right? We had 10 people. There's only 3 of us left. 3. And one of the guys that's left out of the 3, he's already done flatbed for like 10 years already. He's like 40 years old. But he was out for... The McElroy requires your experience to be within 12 months, which it seems to be with most companies, or else you'll have to go through the whole training program with them as if you're a brand new student. You've got to have that specific experience in the past year. So in this case, flatbed experience within the past 12 months. But yeah, so we went through. Now, each company has their own specific way they want you to do some things, I come to find. Like the pre-trip, McElroy has their specific things that the driver wants, that they want their drivers to check and be aware of. Some of them were the same that I had in school. Some of them were different. You know what I mean? There was some more. There were other things that weren't there. But, you know, I just combine the two and I'm going to check them all. You know what I mean? Because that just makes me safer as a driver. You know what I mean? Coupling and uncoupling. They do things differently than I learned in college. In college, I learned PAL and lap. You know, when you're hooking up PAL, your pin, your airlines, and your landing gear. Then when you're unhooking, lap, your landing gear, your airlines, your pin. With McElroy, they do it straight, forward and back. So, like, for example, you hook up your trailer, right? You do your airlines first. Then you make sure your pin's in. You go underneath. You make sure that your locking jaws are closed. And then you put your landing gear up. And then the other way around, you put your landing gear down first, then you pull your pin, then you release your airlines, and you pull forward. And then it was all just, after that was just the tarping and untarping, you know what I mean? You've got 2 tarps on the trailer. If you look up just a picture McElroy Truck Lines on like Google Images, you're bound to find one where it's a tarped load, so you can see like what it looks like. But so you've got 2 of those tarps, and you put them up there and you drape them out over it, and then you figure out your straps, how much tie down you need, dependent upon like how heavy your load is, how many tie downs you need, and then throw them over, strap them in, come back, crank them in, and you put your bungees all around, whoever the company wants you to put their tarps, you know what I mean? And McElroy's apparently a lot, like, they're really strict on neatness and stuff. They want their trucks to look professional, which I don't have a problem with, because, you know, you want it to look professional, you know what I mean? And they even made a good point saying that, like, let's say you're out, right, and you pull into a waste station and they're doing like dot inspections, you know what I mean? And you've got your trailer and your tarp, and yours is looking nice, clean, you know, straight, looks beautiful. And then you've got another guy who his tarp's like flapping in the wind, you know what I mean? And Dot's gonna pick one guy that they're gonna do an inspection on out of those 2 trucks. Who are they gonna pick 10 times out of 10? They're gonna pick this other guy. You know what I mean? Or if you've got your stuff nice and straight, they're gonna not mess with you much. If it looks professional, they treat it professional. That's what they told us in the class. So, yeah, a lot of it was like practice, just being out and like in the North Carolina heat, you know what I mean? It's been like almost 100 degrees some of these days. Just out there in the heat, you know, taking those tarps, unrolling them, rolling them back up again, rolling them up, rolling them, you know, just doing that over and over, throwing them on the truck, bringing them right back down and doing it all over again. And some people just couldn't handle that, you know what I mean? Where that's what, like, when you do flatbed, like for example, like if I went to box trucks, right? I'd be starting at like 25 cents a mile, something around there. Here at McElroy, I'm starting at 53 cents a mile. Like, I'm making a lot more money, but I'm earning every penny of it, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing that hard work. Yeah. So that's just about how it went. And honestly, like, if you're a hard worker it's not rough. It's really not. Like I was getting kind of scared, you know what I mean, with the numbers dwindling down, you know what I mean? That we started with 10, now we got 3 people, you know what I mean? Like holy, you know what I mean? Like holy goodness, you know what I mean? That's like only 30% left. That's a 70% turnover rate just in the orientation week, you know what I mean? But it was just, you know, I was just doing my own. I wasn't paying attention to them. The guy was telling me because, you know, I've demonstrated that I'm a hard worker, you know what I mean? So he talks to me more. And he told me that, you know what I mean? It's just people they're not putting forth the effort that they need to put forth, you know what I mean, to get that job done. You know what I mean? And it's starting to get cloudy out. Why do I even have these on anymore? So it's like, you know what I mean? You just got to put forth the effort, you know what I mean? It takes work. You just got to do the work, you know what I mean? Faster you get the work done, faster you move on, faster you keep going. So next week, we're going to start pulling trailers with loads behind them. Because we did a driving test, but it wasn't like, we didn't have a load behind us. It was just, we were just pulling an empty trailer, you know what I mean? But this week now, we're going to start doing this next week, we're going to start doing like the real in-depth load securement and a lot of practice pulling with loads behind us. And then that's my last week here, and then I'll be out with a trainer for 4 weeks. I'll have to see how much of a I'll have to see how like stuck up my trainer is. He might not get annoyed if I bring my phone along and start like taking videos and stuff while I'm out with him, just so like training with, you know what I mean, with a trainer. We'll have to see how that goes. But so I'm pretty excited for that, you know, because this will be my first time pulling a load behind me, which they say it stops quicker, but you know, that depends on the situation. You know, if you're downhill, it's gonna push you faster, you know what I mean? But so I'm pretty excited to see how that goes. But it's been pretty lax, and especially now that we've made it through that, because see, this first orientation week was kind of like think of it as like a week-long job interview, you know what I mean? Like, they've got cameras, they're always watching you on it. Even down at the company headquarters in Cuba, Alabama, they watch us all the way up here in North Carolina, you know what we're doing. If something's going on, they text one of the instructors, and they're like, yo, this guy's just like standing there, you know what I mean? Yeah, so like it was a little, they're a little, not standoffish, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it was work time, it was getting to work time, you know what I mean? But now it's pretty lax, you know what I mean? They're pretty open with us now, because they said that on Thursday right there, that was like the end of the cutoff point, where he was just dropping people because they weren't working too hard, you know what I mean? They weren't moving quick enough, you know what I mean? Once he's past that point now, so now we're like, they gave us the hat where we basically got the job now, you know what I mean? We've made it past that point, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. But so we'll have to see how next week goes, and I'll try to make more, if you know what I mean, if enough interesting stuff happens in that point, I'll try to make more videos more often, because you know, I might make a couple, and then, you know, now it's Friday, but I was kind of busy. We were busy, you know what I mean? We had a lot of busy work this week, but yeah, well, I'm pretty satisfied with, you know, my results and the results, you know what I mean? So we'll have to see how next week goes. I'll check in soon. Thanks, see ya.